Hello Capricorn. Welcome to your mid-2020 overview reading and the August 2020 reading as well. We'll do a small August reading at the end. But this is going to be good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Capricorn. And before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up if this resonates and leave a comment if you feel inspired. If you haven't already, make sure you check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. If you would like to know what I'm offering, check out the description box. Lots of goodies in there. And I'm going to lay this out, then we will get started. Okay, let me explain this reading. So this is just the timeline for the second half of 2020. So you can imagine July is over here, December of 2020 is over here. So these last about 6 weeks in terms of time frame. It's a little bit fluid since we're dealing with time, and I'm going to fill this in with another deck. So hope you enjoy. Now let's start with your oracle cards. First thing we have is compassion. Compassion is something that you find for yourself as well as others. So this is not about letting compassion override all other circumstances or considerations, right? You can be deeply compassionate and set boundaries. You can be deeply compassionate and make decisions that are in alignment with you. Compassion is not the driver. Compassion is a lens, in my opinion. I think it's something that we can look at as a filter that we perceive things through, and it helps us access our own tenderness. That's been my experience. That's what I've found with compassion, and it can really help soften your heart. And I mean that in a good way. So consider that as you're moving through whatever it is that comes up in this next half of 2020. Compassion is a lens. It's like a pair of glasses that you can always put on. And then we also have Eros. So this is divine sexuality. This is sacral chakra work. This is sensuality. And so I think that exploring this within yourself, maybe and I talk about this a lot with the pleasure and pain spectrum, you can start exploring more of that, maybe leaning more into the pleasure elements for yourself in a way that's amplifying sensuality. So your senses, your sight, sound, smell, touch, taste, etc. So enjoy this. It's kind of like you're cracking open your ability to experience greater and greater pleasure. It's the spectrum is widening. And then we have celebrate. Take a moment to enjoy your accomplishments. Focus on successes for today. Fixing things can wait a bit. Appreciate creative comrades and show them your gratitude. So this is like, if you're in problem solving mode a lot, take your foot off the gas pedal with that. Like, you really don't need to solve, fix. It can be something where you simultaneously hold an understanding that you still have work to do and that there's still things to fix, yes, but it's also going to be worthwhile for you to be in celebration mode. So find a celebration frequency for yourself and let that be what you're manifesting from, because that's going to compound. If you get into celebration, you're going to have more reasons to celebrate. So consider that as you're going through this second half, and also know that you have overcome a lot and you have done a lot of work. So let yourself appreciate that. Now let's see what's going on in this first quarter. So this will last until about mid-August. We have the Eight of Cups, things that you're shifting away from. And the Eight of Cups has to do with the internal world. I view the Eight of Cups as being more of the internal. I'm walking away from this perception, from this mindset, from this belief. It has less to do with the environment. Your internal world will impact the environment, but this has to do with you making a conscious choice to evolve internally. Now let's see what else we have going on here. and we have the Two of Swords. I don't think I'm actually going to get a lot of context on this because it is going to be so different for each and every one of you. I'm getting that the Two of Swords has more to do with me as a reader, like not actually being able to get more information, specifically because this message is so clear. And so there's not a lot to fill in here. It should be very, very obvious because you're in the middle of this now. This isn't even oncoming energy. You're already in this period. So if you're moving away from something, if you have a mindset that you're chipping away at or working on, all of that is in service of you. So just allow yourself to keep moving forward with that. Don't worry about the outcome right now. Just focus on, what do I need to shift internally? What am I wanting to walk away from that I have a mental habit of doing? And do that, because it's going to lead you to greater things. Let's see what else is going on. Let's move into the second quarter. We have the Five of Cups. This is getting interesting, so let me see. Two of Pentacles. Okay, so the mind is what you're mastering, for sure. There's a lot of mental flexibility, mental mastery that's shining through here, and the reason being is that you're starting off with this very clear, intentional, I am evolving out of this way of thinking, of this mental pattern or whatever energy you're holding in the body that you no longer want to be holding in the body. There's an element of liberation and new sights that are out on the horizon in this beginning area. Then as you move into the Five of Cups, this is all about choice and decision of how are you going to perceive things. We all know that you always have an opportunity to look at things as being glass half empty, and you also have a choice to stay trapped in a negative story. It is something that we decide to hold for ourselves, right? You can look at something objectively and say, this is not ideal, right? That can absolutely be valid, but also, again, with the lens that you put on, the approach that you take is going to make a big difference. It's kind of like you have the ability to choose how you see things and whether or not you want to view this as something that will support you, help you, push you in the right direction, an opportunity for growth, evolution, healing. There's all of these ways that you can reframe things for yourself to be more beneficial and more helpful. Or it's something that you can make a mountain out of a molehill at any time. And we all know people who do that, where it could be the smallest thing, but if you're perceiving it in a way where the world is against you, it will mushroom out of control into something that's really distressing. And this is where choice comes in. It's like, what do you want the experience to be when something unexpected happens, or when there's a turn, when there's a hiccup? Because if you're getting sucked into a story of this is never going to work, or this is never going to get better, or I'm always being punished, right? You have to be really careful with your mind around that. So there's deep transformation in the mental body, in the emotional body that's happening for you during this stage. Now, let me be clear. The Five of Cups is not forecasting bad things. Okay. So yes, it's a disappointment card, but the Five of Cups reveals to us that it matters more about where we're looking. It's not about what's happening. It's where your focus is, what you're choosing to fixate on, and what you're giving energy. The choice comes in when you decide, what am I giving energy to? What do I want to grow? And come from that space. Be intentional. What do you want to grow? Is it whatever's spilled, or is it what's still standing? Because the Five of Cups shows us so much is still standing, and that's what you want to focus on. And then things will actually transform as a result of you focusing on what works or what you ideally desire. The third quarter, we have the Seven of Pentacles, lots of options. This is like casting a wide net or having a lot of irons in the fire. I'm getting that this is welcome for you. I think there's a lot of waking up happening here. And then the Seven of Pentacles is just highlighting there's so much more. There's so much more going on, and you have a lot going on. So let's see what else we have here. Page of Swords, it's a completely new experience where you're pushing yourself. And I like seeing this because it's not just you being locked into one option or locked into one thing. There's a wide variety of directions that this could go. And so you can capitalize on pushing yourself in a new direction or using the inspiration that you get to push yourself to the next level. It's all about elevation here. It's all about looking at the world as, this is my oyster. The world is my oyster. I can get whatever I want. I have an abundance of opportunities. There's so much opportunity in this third quarter. So this is going to be around like October into November. There's such abundant opportunities that it's safe for you to explore, investigate, try something new. The Page of Swords has a lot of Fool energy. It's very similar to the Fool for me when I'm reading this. And so use this to your advantage. It's like you could try something, fail, and know that there's 80,000 more options or solutions or opportunities. There's so much abundance in this third quarter that you could attempt 6, 8, 12 different things and still have massive amounts of success. Even if you fail a whole bunch of times, you could just trial and error your way through this third quarter, and it would be I don't want to say a piece of cake, but it's like it would ultimately, you would never run out of options, is what I'm getting here in this third quarter. So the best way to approach this is by not getting locked into scarcity, because this is showing something completely different. There is not a fleck of scarcity in the third quarter. So the more that you can keep your eye on abundance, there's more than enough. There's infinite solutions. You know, the mountain in front of you is not something that God can't provide for and that God can't help you with. Let yourself lean into that more. And then the fourth quarter, so wrapping up 2020, we have the moon. This is like the veil is very thin. You have a lot going on energetically, intuitively. This is all of the things that are unseen, that are unconscious. And we have the Knight of Wands. Give yourself permission to daydream. I'm getting that fantasizing or kind of like escaping into a realm of desires isn't bad. I think that fantasy and desire and inspired fantasy kind of gets a bad rap. Like the imagination game that we play for manifestation is something that people have a lot of resistance to or kind of talk down about. Like, oh, it's just in your head. So, you know, it's not something that you should be giving very much attention to. But in reality, everything we experience exists within the mind to a certain extent. And so you may as well capitalize on imagination. And the Knight of Wands is about putting energy into something, energy exertion, energy output. And so with the moon, it's like putting your energy into the unseen world on what you want to experience in the 3D. This has heavy manifestation energy on it. And I'm getting that this actually doesn't have anything to do with confusion or fogginess. The moon actually looks really clear in this reading for you. So it's not about the fogginess or the illusion element. It has more to do with you're imagining things and creating things anyway, so harness it. Pour energy into that imagined experience, outcome, desire, creation. Use your creative energy. And that it's like, yes, go to the astral, the energetic component in order to get clear on that and make that happen. So the Knight of Wands is just encouraging you to invest more into the energetic world at the end of the year. Have fun, like create some intentions for yourself heading into 2021. And just really play in the astral. Have fun doing that. It's safe for you to do that. Okay, and then we're going to do the August reading now, and I'm keeping this really, really simple. We're just going to do a central energy, what you have shifting out, and what you have oncoming. Okay, the central energy for you in August is the Page of Swords, doing the unthinkable, achieving things. It's the same card we had here. It's like pushing yourself in ways that maybe you haven't imagined before. It's the imagination, the mental body expanding and pursuing things that maybe you forgot about or have been dormant, or maybe they've been options but you haven't tried them, or it's been sitting in the back of the mind and now it's coming to the forefront. There's a lot of action here. So August looks very, very busy. There's a lot of things that you're investigating, pursuing, reframing, working on. There's efforting happening in August. I'm getting that you have the energy and bandwidth to do it. So invest in it, right? It's worthwhile to invest in mastering the mental body as much as you can. That's what meditation is for, right? It's to master the mind. And so the Page of Swords is just encouraging you to push that. And then what you have shifting out is the Five of Pentacles. This is scarcity, no energy. This is lack of abundance. This is a total lack card. And so what I'm getting is whatever you've been experiencing a lot of scarcity around or contraction around just as a whole, that's shifting out and you actually have the bandwidth to expand. So you had this contraction, now you're moving into expansion, moving into uncharted territory. This is a very exciting month for you because I'm getting that more things are opening up. The oncoming energy is the Hierophant, boundaries, structure, order. I think you're getting into a rhythm. You will find that by the end of August, there's some type of rhythm or method that you really enjoy tapping into. So you get to enjoy this further. It's only going to expand and compound from that space. And you can just use this to create whatever you want. Think about the compound effect of whatever you're doing, whatever you're initiating. And when you think about the compound effect as well, don't forget that energy matters. It's not just about the tasks that you're doing. It's about the compound of the energy that you're holding in the body and that you're storing inside. Okay, now let's look at your 3-card pick. So you're welcome to pick a card, any card, whatever feels good to you. Ask a question, ask for guidance, clarity, whatever you need. If you need more time, pause the video. Card number 1, we have the Tower, breakdown, breakthrough. Don't fear this just don't. There's no reason to. Imagine whatever is being broken down, consider that you need space. Like if you've been asking for something specific, you actually need space and room for that to make an appearance, for that to make an entrance. And if you're not intentionally creating that space or walking away from that thing immediately, like if you haven't been doing that intentionally, then it is something where the universe is going to respond to your desire, right? Even if you're in your mind saying, I do or don't want this, the desire of your heart is actually what will be reflected. And sometimes that does show up as a Tower moment where it's like, well, your heart or your spirit or your true intentions are X, right? But you might be trapped in a mindset of thinking you actually know what's best for you. We don't know that every time. We don't always know what we need. And so it's kind of breaking that open for you. It's like, let go of maybe what you think you need in the material plane. Instead, focus on the energetics. What's the actual desire? Don't worry about the how or the external world. Focus more on the energy that you're holding within. That's where the stability is going to come through. And kind of let the environment do its thing. Just hold your desire closely. Card number 2, we have the 9 of Wands. Keep going, keep moving. This is like you're about to achieve something big, so don't stop. Ride the momentum, whatever momentum you have going. Keep moving forward with that. Keep doing that again and again and again, and you're gonna have payoff. So just hold on to that. This is a big fat yes encouragement card. And then card number 3, we have the 3 of Swords, grief. This is also about allowing yourself to experience the pain. Avoid numbing, right? Numbing actually postpones grief. And so, and we grieve lots of things. We're constantly going through different grief cycles in different capacities. So the 3 of Swords is just reminding you that it's okay to experience grief and pain. Those emotions and experiences aren't bad. It's not something that you want to necessarily avoid forever, even if they are uncomfortable. So it's safe for you to experience this because the feelings are not going to last forever. And I'm also getting, this has less to do with the forecasting bad things. No, it has to do with your emotional processing. So even if something minor happens and your natural tendency is to avoid, turn away, ignore it, this is inviting you to actually experience the emotions, move through them fully, and give yourself the opportunity to let them out of the body rather than holding them within. So don't ignore pain. That's the main thing here. Let it move out first, and then you can keep going. But if you ignore it, it's going to stay in the body. So don't forget that. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. And before you go, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment if anything resonated. Check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. And if you would like more content from me, make sure you sign up for my newsletter. Good things come to you in my newsletter, and you can stay up to date on everything. All of the info that you need is in the description box if you'd like to work with me or check out all of the other offers that I have. Just check below. All of the decks that I've used in the reading today are also listed as well. I'm sending you so much love, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.